All right, so we had a pretty decent night. Went out for some like Thai food. The weirdness of the place instantly manifested. We had some guys sit at our table with us, instantly like put a big handful of grass on the table and start talking about like anti-vax stuff and anti-mask and like COVID conspiracy type stuff. So, and the table next to us, they were all shouting about it as well. So that was a good experience. After that, we went along the pub, had a couple of beers, just, sort of got the lay of the land a little bit. So today, the plan is to go and have a look around, and wouldn't you know it, it started raining. Our day off where we get to have a wander around, it rains. But we're still going to go out anyway and have a look around the town and just, see what it's all about.
At first glance, you could be forgiven for thinking that Nimbin is just like any other small town. But as soon as you set foot on its main street, it becomes instantly obvious that it is anything but. Walking through the town felt like being at a music festival, except all the tents and stalls were replaced with brick and mortar, and the revelers exist here all year round. We saw all sorts of cannabis-adjacent businesses, selling everything from bongs, pipes, papers, and other cannabis paraphernalia, to clothes stores, selling harem pants and the ever-prevalent drug rug. We even spotted a sign for THC-infused smoothies. Like the rest of the country, Nimbin too has felt the effects of the pandemic. Maybe it was just the time of year, but it did seem that the absence of the continual stream of backpackers from Byron Bay and beyond was partially responsible for many of the closed businesses. Maybe they were just closed for the season, but we suspected some might be closed for good. The epicenter of the Nimbin cannabis movement is, of course, the Hemp Embassy.
The Hemp Embassy has been promoting pot legalization and educating the public on the benefits of cannabis use since 1995. In fact, its name stands for Help End Marijuana Prohibition. The embassy operates as a general store for weed lovers, with profits going toward funding protests against anti-cannabis laws around the country. One of the staples of every Nimbin protest is the big joint. Of the legion of big things across Australia, the big joint is the only one that represents an illegal substance. It is also portable, which comes in handy for visiting the Nimbin police station during the town's annual Mardi Gras celebration.
After having our perceptions altered by the staff and regulars at the Hemp Embassy, we went for a stroll through Nimbin's alleys and back streets to take in some of the art and get some fresh air. We decided to walk to the northern edge of town, which is home to the Nimbin Candle Company and the Nimbin Bush Theatre. On the way there, we crossed an old bridge and spotted something in the water.
What did we just see, Bonnie?
A platypus. A platypus! Sorry.
We saw him, and I just managed to whip the camera out as he dove underwater, but thankfully he came out again. So I managed to get a little bit of on film, and Bonnie caught a couple of pictures. Oh, there he is, there he is. We have been, like, in the Otways next to Lake Elizabeth for a year, which is meant to have loads of them.
Well, and it had a platypus tour.
Yeah. And we never saw a single one. Went to Tassie, and every single river we went past, there were signs saying there's platypus here. Every review of every campsite or caravan park, there's platypus here. Never saw a thing. And then finally we come to Nimbin and see one. Oh, there he is again.
The Bush Theatre wasn't going to be having any performances anytime soon, but their cafe is really good, and the candle factory is a real sight to behold.
It's early morning. We are just packing up the last of our stuff after an awesome time in Nimbin. We've had like a really good time here. It's definitely worth visiting. We had some reservations about what the town had become these days compared to, like, you know, what it started as, and yeah, they were totally unfounded. It's been amazing. So today's going to be a big day. It's maybe 80 k's or something like that, which isn't unusual, but it's going to be hilly. We've got to climb that hill straight out of town. And then when we get to Murwillumbah, I think it's called, maybe for lunch, and then we'll have to do another, we're going over Mount Tomowin, and that'll take us over the border. We're finally crossing the border into Queensland. Thankfully, the border has stayed open despite all the COVID outbreaks across the country. So that's a relief, because once we get into Queensland, that's basically, you know, where we're going to be for the foreseeable future. So it's a real relief we're getting that done, and we ain't going to have to do any more border crossings for quite a long time, which is nice. Anyway, we're staying with the warm showers out that way tonight, so yeah, I guess we better get cracking. They've decided they want to meet us midway. We've got to message them once we pass a certain point, so yeah, better not keep them waiting. Okay, ready to go?
Yep.
All right, I reckon I might just leave this camera on and get a nice little tour of the town on the way out. Ready, gun, lodge, bye-bye. Pretty quick run down Nimbin's main street there. Not quite the spectacle it is, and it will be in a couple of hours. Nothing like opens till 10. There's a couple of cafes start selling coffee at like, you know, 8:30, but that's it. All the shops open super late. So yeah, not much going on right now. And we've come out of town and straight into the hill climbs. Not only that, but it's windy today. So yeah, anyway, it is what it is. It's going to be a long day. The roads in and out of Nimbin are terrible. Like, there's more patched pothole than actual road left. They all need completely resurfaced. This is all right now, but there's sections that are just awful.
I can see why they call this region like the Rainbow Belt or the Rainbow Region or whatever it is. Like, even though we've left Nimbin, we're going past loads of quirky little properties, and a lot of people are shouting words of support as we ride by. Apparently town east of here, Mullumbimby, that's meant to be a cool little hippie town as well, but unfortunately we won't get to see that. Maybe next time. Just passed through Murrumbilla. Murwillumbah. There's the sign, Murwillumbah. Yeah, it's actually quite a pretty little town. It seems like sort of farming kind of town. Lots of nice architecture. Very hilly. But yeah, that's us out the other side now, and it'll only be a few K before we start climbing this thing up ahead. From what I understand, that range there is, that's basically what the border follows, one side or the other. So we're gonna like wind our way up the side of that and sort of snake along parallel to the border for a while before eventually we just kind of hop over it. So yeah, should be fun. Why are you braking? What?
Right behind the restricted sign.
There's what?
It just says Queensland border.
Oh, this is it. This is the border.
It's not as good as the New South Wales.
No, it is not. Well, I think if we were on the coast, it would be.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Don't go the way I went. It's
No,
a bad,
yeah,
it's a bad plan.
sorry.
That was a bad move. All right, made it to the Queensland border. Not quite the fanfare we got going into New South, but we have gone the back way. So, yeah, we're in Queensland. Yay. Buddy, we're in Queensland.
Finally.
What the hell is this thing over here? This border marker was erected to celebrate the centenary of Federation and to commemorate the survey of the Queensland-New South Wales border by surveyors Francis and Isaiah. While we were stopped to get pictures with the border sign, I noticed this sign here. It's like, drive to conditions, and someone is sprayed all over it. Keep left, just keep left. And yeah, I'll show you why. So we're keeping left, we're keeping left, we're keeping left. Oh yeah, like the road's falling away down the cliff. Cool. Keep left. So with the border crossed, we are now on our way to meet our warm showers host. Oh man, what a relief to get over that border, man. Like, I thought for sure they were gonna close it before we got here. Yeah, let's go find these guys. Our hosts Paul and Nat had suggested that we meet up at Freeman's Organic Farm, which is situated in a beautiful spot overlooking the Currumbin Valley. We enjoyed a fantastic coffee and a free banana, courtesy of the owner of the farm, who makes a point of giving every cyclist who makes it up the hill a banana on the house. It wasn't long before Paul and Nat turned up and led us through the windy, steep roads of the Gold Coast hinterland back to their place, where we would spend our first night in Queensland. All right, Dave and Bonnie from the future here. riding in the awful rain.
Summer's over.
So we thought it was important that we make a really quick video, or a really quick snippet in this video, just to say a big thank you to Jess, who has just become our first patron. So for those of you that don't know, that's on Patreon, which is just a way for people to contribute if they see value in what we do. There's a hell of a lot of work goes into these videos, and you know, we don't make any money out of it. So yeah, it's shocking that someone sees enough value in this that they'd actually consider contributing. So Jess, like, that means the world to us. Thank you very much.